You know, the church would have you believe that if you don't believe in the church, you don't believe in God. Uh, the church would have you believe that if you're not connected to the church and you're not participating in the church, you're not connected with God. You're not participating in the world with God. You're disconnected. God doesn't exist in your life unless the church exists in your life. And that is the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard. God is in your heart. God is your soul. God is you. You don't need a church. You don't need to go to church. You don't need to put money in the offering to keep the abuse and the lies continuing, which is what that money does. And it's the only reason they lie. It's the only reason they manipulate you because they want that money. So you keep giving them the money and they keep giving you the lies that you want to hear. That they'll give you salvation. They'll give you penance. I walked in, I'm not Catholic, and I went to a Catholic church once, and I saw that to light a candle, you have to drop a quarter. Probably more now, but back then it was a quarter to light a candle. And I thought, this is so pathetic. This is the ultimate of pathetic. So it's not even a real candle, it's just a light bulb that looks like a candle. So yeah, that's all just goes in the line of it's all crap. It's all crap. Don't go to church. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with people coming together um, for a cause or for a reason. And when you're in a group, you're very powerful. But the problem is when you're in a group, it's usually stupidity prevails. The stupid one is the one on the soapbox screaming at the crowd. You know, he sounds smart, but he's really not. Like Trump sounds smart, but he's really not. And he has his rallies, and people show up to his rallies, and it's all a bunch of crap. So. But the problem with the church is they use religion as a weapon against you, and they manipulate Jesus and God and all that to manipulate you and buy you and own you. And once you call yourself a Catholic, the Catholic Church feels like they own you. Or you're a Jew. If you're a Jew, they own you. It's like you have no rights. You gave up rights. And God forbid if you're Catholic and you want to become Jewish, it's like you're the enemy. Um, or if you want to become Hindu, you're the enemy. And sure they don't say that, but they don't let you bring your kids to their school either, and stuff like that. So they do say it, it's just not in so many words. But when you get married as a Catholic, they want the one question they ask is, "You're going to raise your kids Catholic," and that's all they care because the kids are the future brainwashed and manipulated people that they're going to get offering money from and continue the lies and continue the BS. So it's just where do you draw the line, you know? And God is around you. He's in this room with me. He's helping me make this video. He gave me this iPad to make the video on. He gave me this mic so you can hear me. Um, I just and I didn't work. I haven't worked since '99, and I have all this stuff. And I have it because I need it, not because I want it. And God gives me what I need. So if you have something, if you want something, you might not get it. But if you need it, you're probably going to get it as long as you're a good person. And you know, it's hard. I understand. You're raised a certain way. You taught a certain way as a child, and That's why they want to know how you're going to raise your children, because they want to continue this going on in the future. And and they don't care. They think it's good for society, and it's not, because you become sheep. You're a bunch of sheep by the church. The church makes you a sheep. That's why they had all those Indian children from the Indian reservations go to Catholic churches where they were abused, because the Indians weren't sheep, and the Catholic churches were turning them into sheep. Come hell or high water, they were going to be turned into sheep. And that's what they did. And that's why they committed so much abuse and actually killed kids to that objective. And they owe a lot to the Indian people that they destroyed their lives, not only in this country, all throughout the world. Africa, Asia, Europe, everywhere. It's criminal what they've done in the name of God. And I guess I'm doing this video and I'm putting forth this effort as a day of reckoning, and Sinead O'Connor called John Paul Jones the enemy. Pope John Paul Jones was the enemy. He ripped up that picture on Saturday Night Live and was deemed the worst person in the world. People burned her albums, and then 10 years later, they find out about all this abuse going on in the church, and John Paul Jones was the enemy. So it's just when you hear the truth today, you generally don't want to hear it. It might take a while for you to come around, because you close yourself off. You're like, oh, he's crazy. Oh, why am I listening to him? I'm not going to listen to him anymore. Sinead O'Connor, they stopped listening to her music. She's crazy. You know. But then the truth comes around and they get vindicated. I'll be vindicated. And you get vindicated with the truth, you know. And the truth can't be hidden. The truth will always find a way to come out. And God rats you out. God is right there. God's in this room. I said, He knows what I'm saying. If I say something wrong, He'll rat me out. And I'm not saying I have to toe a certain line, because I don't. But it's just, I have to be myself. I have to be my authentic self. And if my authentic self was to wish for these people to be whatever, and it's not, you know, God will handle them. I don't have to wish for anything. Karma is my best friend, and she takes care of all the problems of the world. And just because you see someone getting away with something that you think is bad, don't worry about it. It's coming back to them. They were caught. They were caught the minute they thought of doing it. They didn't have to do it. They thought of doing it. They were caught. So, it's just, I always say it's hard to decipher the lies from the truth, and it's purposely done that way. They don't want you to know the truth. The truth doesn't look good on them. That's why people have to do plastic surgery, because the truth is ugly. The plastic surgery, in their mind, looks good, and from our point of view, looking at the person having had plastic surgery done, we think it's ugly because you can tell, and it looks stupid. But they think it's good. They think they've done something positive, and they're just grasping onto something they've lost and don't want to come to realization that they've lost it. They've lost their looks. They lost whatever they're trying to recapture. Their husband doesn't look at them the same way anymore, and they want to recapture that, and they think plastic surgery will do it. And it's It's just all lies you tell yourself. And the church feeds into all that stuff. The church feeds into your insecurities. You need holy water, otherwise you're not safe. You need a blessing, otherwise you're not safe. You gotta go confession, otherwise you're not safe. It's all crap. It's all crap. You need to be a good person, and you will be safe no matter what you do. I'm not saying you're gonna have an easy life. Didn't say that. You're a good person. You probably have a very hard life, like me. But it's hard in some ways where I'm lonely, but I'm not lonely. I'm alone. I'm not lonely. I'm alone. And I prefer it that way. You know, I don't try to change it. I don't go out there and try to meet people. I'm not on dating apps. I'm not, and whatever I am on, like YouTube or anything else, I'm not trying to meet people for a long term commitment. I like short term ones, but not long term. Uh, you know, People get too possessive, and nobody can possess me. Not you, and not God.